Yeah, I'm gonna put that sticker on my shirt.
Hey, puppy. Hey, puppy dog. What are you doing? Hi. Hi. Well, so much for the supply tent. That pretty much got destroyed in the windstorm yesterday. That's a shame. All this stuff. Good job. Everybody remembers John. Everybody likes his responses to questions. Seems to be the video favorite for these types of things. Just because he's very articulate in his answers.
I try.
So we did these press release last night for moving for November 11th.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of mixed reviews online, a lot of good reviews in the public. And we had the mayor here this morning.
Yes, we did.
To kind of sit down and go over everything, and just wondering how it went.
Actually, I mean, there was nothing, he didn't seem overly disgruntled by the fact that we went against what he had requested, but I mean, the veterans who came down with him, actually, there was a veteran that came down, he was overjoyed that we were giving up the space, and I really don't think the veterans would have been concerned about when we left, so long as we were gone. But the mayor seems to approve of our decision and what we've come to as a group consensus. There were no arguments, there was no back and forth discussion on whether we should change our ideas or anything like that. So I mean, he seems to have just accepted that we've decided what we're going to do and we're going to do it. No backlash or anything of that nature. That he didn't sound mean, nasty, none of that. He just kind of took it on the cheek.
What was his body language when you mentioned that we were going to be coming back on the 12th?
I think we missed out on a really good reaction. I'm pretty sure he knew that it was coming ahead of time. I think he got the press release this morning because he was supposed to be down here for 11:30, and the media was aware of that, and once they got down here and started calling him, he eventually did come down, but I think he wasn't going to because he kind of made it an obvious thing. Oh, hold on a sec, guys, come in. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Sorry about that, folks. There was a little bit of an emergency in the med tent, so I had to cut that interview short. Now we're on to the General Assembly.
Big news in camp, the press release issued this morning about our plan for Remembrance Day and the days around it. So a few people can report back on that. Is everyone clear on what was there? Can we go over that again?
Actually, you should. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, sure. So over the past couple of days, the General Assembly has been crafting a consensus on what to do. Last night, consensus was reached, and we sent out a press release to every media outlet in the province. The consensus entailed holding a major rally and Great Grand Parade cleanup here on November 6th at 11 a.m. to clean the place for the Remembrance Day ceremonies, starting to move and leaving by the evening of November 8th and relocating to Victoria Park, staying there for the nights of the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and then returning here on November 12th with a major solidarity rally and moving back in party around 11 a.m.
Okay.
So that has consensus in the General Assembly. Maybe, I know, John, not to put you on the spot, but you conducted several interviews with media outlets today. Do you have any comments on how things went?
Well, actually, I think it was really good as far as what we're going to receive back for public support. The mayor kind of told us last Friday in a meeting that he'd be back here 11:30 for our decision this morning, and due to the press release, I think he changed his idea, but the media didn't. So they spent an hour on the phone, and finally he came down pretty much, I think, for the media. So the interviews that I did were really positive. The mayor wasn't negative in any way. He was asked several times about what he was going to do if we decided to come back, and he's pretty much said we'll cross that bridge when we get there. There was no negativity, nothing bad. The veterans were super happy, by the way. Just delighted that we had come to the consensus to move out. I mean, there really wasn't much that went on. It was just the reporters asking him about the media release we sent out. So it seemed very positive. He didn't seem like he was going to stop us from coming back in any way or form. He just expressed concern over future events that were to be held here. And again, you know, that the media asked me the same thing, and I told them the same thing the mayor told us when he was having the meeting. Right now, the main focus is on the issue at hand, which is the Remembrance Day ceremonies, and everything else was put on the back burner until that was dealt with. So we've dealt with that, so I guess we'll have to just wait and see when the next event comes around.
Fair enough.
There are a lot of people potentially angry about us being here on Remembrance Day, and we've received a lot of feedback already just in the past 8 hours of people saying, you know, we weren't quite sure what you guys were doing there, but we really respect the decision you've made around this. Remembrance Day is important to us in Nova Scotia, and well done. We really support you. So in case if anyone was iffy about how this decision is going, it seems like community response so far has been very positive. So pat yourselves on the back. Eric and I tracked down Tom Waters before he was leaving to ask him about this. They said they would get back to us by today on potentially leaving some sort of presence here. Word from the Legion is essentially no. No as in they would rather not. Their word is that this ceremony is about the veterans and about Remembrance Day, and having anything else on the square, as benign or friendly as it may be, will detract the focus of the ceremony away from what's going on to this one tent.
I might be wrong on this, but I thought that St. Mary's and some other people were putting tents up for some reason. So I'm just curious about what the difference is. Well, I kind of understand the difference, but...
Putting tents up here?
Yeah.
So the Lieutenant Governor always does.
On that note, yeah, St. Mary's will have something over on that plot of land, according to the map the mayor brought us, and maybe we could network with them. I don't know if it's like what kind of school group is going to be manning that, but maybe we can network with them somehow.
Is anyone interested in networking with St. Mary's about tents here?
Just to expand on my comment,
Yeah.
my thought on that wasn't so much that we would be here like doing outreach or anything. I don't personally feel that that's appropriate, but in terms of things we've talked about before, like serving hot chocolate or coffee and things like that, just to kind of show our support and solidarity.
I'm going to reserve comment as facilitator. We're open to anything here. The only proposal that I have to base this on is, I think Friday we said we were talking about leaving one tent here, and we were going to talk about that more contingent on what the veterans told us, and the only word from them is a vague but concise no. So, of course, we can pursue that further if anyone would like to take that on.
But we've also got David to come down. He's going to be here doing a free concert at 3:30 on Friday. So if you're able to be here, David is a singer-songwriter from the West Coast who basically travels North America singing on picket lines and strike lines. So he'll be here in town 3:30 on Friday to do a free concert here in the square.
What was his name?
David Robix.
I want to re-propose what we presented last night in terms of going to Occupy Wall Street and reply to some of the objections that were brought up yesterday.
Could you restate
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea was for myself and Amanda to go down to Occupy Wall Street to make contact with people there for a number of different reasons. One would be to do outreach for the magazine. Another would be to make contact with the library there to start a kind of networking library project. And the other would be to go and request funds to, at the General Assembly and just have a presence there from Occupy Nova Scotia. And I guess we're thinking of like going for a couple of days.
Just to clarify, because I feel it's important for the proposal, are you asking for money from Occupy Nova Scotia?
No, we're not asking for money. And we're also not asking for permission to go because we consider ourselves free individuals. We can go there. So the idea is if we are going to go down to New York, is there something that the community would like us to bring down there? Would they like us to go there in an official capacity, or would they like us to go as individuals and other things that might, other people, statements or requests that other people might like us to bring down there in person? And I'm going to end that there and we open up if people have questions or comments to add to that.
What's the actual proposal?
It's more of an informative thing.
It's more of an announcement, actually, and you wonder if anyone is eating.
In the beginning of his comment, he actually stated it was kind of a question of, would you like us to go there in more of a representative kind of capacity, or as individuals without a banner and without that kind of thing?
What else is their hands up?
The question, from what I understand, the question is between whether you want to be an official representative of everybody here or the representatives on your own individual basis. I think if you were going to be a representative of the group, I think it would be a good idea to just not represent the magazine or the library, but to represent everybody, all the groups involved. Just an idea.
I really think it's great that you guys came to the group to get our ideas and input on it. You didn't have to, obviously. It's your own money, it's your own time, and again, like James mentioned, many of us on many occasions don't speak necessarily on behalf of the group or for the group, but there are times when we're put in a position where people expect answers and answers need to be given. Now, if they're going down there, they're going to bring back, regardless of their own personal reasons for going, they're going to see things down there and the way things are done down there that we may be able to use up here, which may be an asset. I don't see any reason why they can't go down there or why we should oppose it in any way. And like James said, if they are going to go down there as official representatives, perhaps that we as a group should put this on the table to decide what kind of message to send with them. And if we don't want them to represent us, well, then we just listen to what they have to say when they get back. It's going to be no different than me standing in front of a TV camera talking to the press, as it is where I express my personal ideas and some general ideas of the group. I can't assume from knowing both of them that they're going to do anything different.
Happy birthday to you! Thank you for being part of this!
And Stu too. It's his birthday too.
Yeah, he didn't even notice.